and 4 things that you can do to shift your mood in 10 minutes or less. M.K. Mueller here, the author of 8 to Great, and it's wonderful to have you here. If you've clicked on this video, I'm guessing that you're ready for a mood shift. And we all have those times during the week, month, year, of course. And it could be we're at work, nothing's gone right all day, and it's like, it's only Wednesday. Or it could be that we're after work and we're just spent. It could be that we're at home with, a sick baby, or just not feeling the best ourselves. It could be that we're at home at work. Sometimes you're just tired of sitting. I've had those days, right? I'm a writer, go figure. There's quite a bit of sitting, and I don't have one of those standing desks. I'm considering it. But until then, I just do a lot of sitting, and sometimes I just want to get up and move. So we're going to talk about moving options as well as sitting options for those maybe that are bedridden or confined to their homes. The final group that I'm guessing might be interested in mood shifting on a fairly regular basis might be that single senior. I have many of these friends who have lost a partner and just have too quiet a day or too quiet an early evening and need a mood shift. So we're going to talk about all of those options today and 4 things that you can do to shift your mood in 10 minutes or less. And I have used them all. I do use them all. I've used 2 of them this week. Whenever I'm just starting to feel a little blue, bored, you pick the word, you just are ready for that shift. So I'm guessing that you are, and thanks for being open to our ideas. We love sharing the 8 to Great messages with you, and please subscribe if you haven't yet. It really helps us get the message out, and it will help you know when our next video comes out. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing that I do when I need just that little lift shift is I write gratitudes. Now, I have written 3 gratitudes and felt much better. I have written 30 gratitudes and felt much better. And because I love the number 8 as the author of 8 to Great, I have written 88 gratitudes. Yeah. On my hard days, that's how many I need to shift me, right? And it can start with, I'm grateful for this pen in my hand and the fact that I can read and the fact that I can write and the fact that I have eyesight and the fact that there's a chair under my butt and whatever it is, right? You just start talking about the little things, and it's amazing how many things we have to be grateful for that we just kind of lose track of. So anywhere from 3 to 88 gratitudes, I guarantee you'll be in a different mood by the time you finish. The second one is, if the idea of writing down a gratitude right now just feels repugnant, like, are you kidding me? Did you not catch that I'm not in a good mood? I did catch that. So let's try another option, which is, again, one that I did, a couple days ago. I'd already written my gratitudes for the day, and I just said, I'm just going to free journal. And I wrote down, quote, everything that came to mind, unquote. I did. I have a journal. If you don't have a journal, blank paper will do. And I just wrote and wrote and wrote. What amazes me every time I do this is some kind of an insight pops out. It might be an idea for who to call. It might be an idea for something I can do differently, something I can stop doing. Just an insight that I'm taking something personally that I don't need to. I love the 4 agreements, and that second agreement of don't take anything personally is just that's a life changer, isn't it? So just free journaling. And it's amazing. Pretty soon it will shift itself. You can only blame and complain in a journal for so long. Just keep writing until you feel that shift. And it might just be a shift into silence. And that's a beautiful place to be. In 8 to Great, we call that 95ing. When 95% of your thoughts feel good or you don't have any thoughts. Both of those are equally glorious, right? So if you get into that silent meditative zone, that's another huge mood shifter. Okay, so those are 2 that you can do with a pad and a pen. The next 2 require us, and I love these because they require me to get out of my chair. Because just getting up, and I know everybody says, oh, go for a 5 or 10 minute walk. I'm sorry, guys, that's not me. I gotta have someplace to go. And so what I started to realize was, where could I go when I just need to get out and get up and move around? And so I started doing little errands. Now, sometimes we like to be so efficient with our errands, right? Oh, I'm going to do 5 things at once. Well, sometimes I'll leave a couple. And when I just need to get out of the house, I'll get in the car and I'll drive to that one place. And I'll do that one thing. Because while I'm there, I'm going to do something very special. I'm going to find someone to thank. So, for example, Walgreens. You can thank, the customer service person who's checking you out, but they're probably so busy that, they might not even hear you. My favorite people to thank in a retail situation are the people who are invisible, who really no one notices and definitely no one talks to. So the other day I was in the grocery store and a gentleman was stocking the shelves. And I just stopped and said, I just want to thank you for what a great job you're doing. And he looked up at me and I said, this is a really beautiful store and I know that's partly because of your efforts, so I just wanted to say thanks. And he said, wow, you're so welcome. Thank you. And I felt phenomenal after that moment. Just that moment of connection. Because sometimes, what was the quote? Isolation is the dark room where I develop my negatives. Now you have to remember old kinds of photography where we did develop negatives, but it's definitely a mood shifter when you go from isolation to connection. And that's such a simple connection, is just reaching out and thanking someone for what they're doing. The last one is for people who aren't quite that extrovert. I really enjoy walking up to strangers and talking about things like, so tell me, what's one of your dreams? Or thank you so much for doing this. But there's another one for folks who are really introverted. And I'm an introvert, but not an extreme introvert. And for someone who just, again, that sounds abhorrent, then that's when you just want to go visit a tree. And this is different for me than going for a walk. This is going with an intention. So there are preserves in my area. I live in Florida, and a lot of people don't even know about the preserves, but they're incredible. And you go off the beaten path, and there you are in the middle of, I'll get teary, nature scenes, along a river or just in a grove of trees. It's just, there's always a path in a preserve. And I go not specifically looking for the tree, but just open to being blessed by a tree. Because every tree has a story to tell. Think about it. Every tree has weathered and grown and fought, in a sense, for its life to get enough sun, enough nutrients to grow to the way they are. And the other thing I love about trees is none of them are perfectly shaped. Everyone's so unique, right? And yet they're beautiful. And that reminds me that I don't need to be perfect to be lovable and beautiful, that I can be totally uniquely myself and be those qualities. So, yeah, and again, if getting to a preserve, we also have a labyrinth. If you're not familiar with that, you can Google it, Labyrnth. Labyrinths are walking circles that take you to the middle of a circle and then you walk out again. And our town is only 25,000 people, and yet it has a labyrinth. And I think most towns do if you Google it. A labyrinth, and of course, you could make your own if there isn't one. But it gives you something besides just go for a walk if you're like me, and that does not turn you on. Well, those are the 4 mood shifters that I've been using lately. I'd love to hear yours in the comments. And again, if you can subscribe, that's all the better. But thanks so much for checking in. Until next time.